Good morning, Bucknutters. It's Wednesday, December 24th, 2014. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5. I am Dan Rubin. Very pleased that you would join us today. This is not going to be your typical show. For one, it's only going to be 5 minutes long. And secondly, we're just going to have Bill stop by here in a second, go in the Wayback Machine to give you his two most dominant high school players he's ever seen. Be impressed if you could guess who they are ahead of time. Not really surprising, but still, give yourself some credit if you can get it. What I'm here to do today is just to thank you guys. You know, they say in real estate, it's all about location, location, location. And in this business, I think you can say the same. Ohio State is just a great property to be associated with. We're very lucky that Buckeye Nation drives this site. I hope everybody understands how much we appreciate the fan base, the people that come here every day and are devoted to what we put out every day. Like I've said many times, there's a reason they call it Bucknuts and not Buck Rational Observers. It's because we're a special breed. So have a great holiday. Thank you so much for your patronage. Go Bucks.
With it being almost Christmas, and of course soon to be another new year, I want to go old school today and go way back to when I first started doing this, covering Ohio State football recruiting in 1987. What I want to do today is go way back and talk about the two best high school football players that I have had the privilege of watching play in person in the state of Ohio since I began doing this. These are not necessarily the two best players as they turned out to be at the college or pro level, but simply the two most dominating high school football players in the state of Ohio that I have had the pleasure of watching since I started doing this back in 1987. Number 2 on my list is a linebacker from Central Ohio, Andy Katzenmoyer from Westerville South High School. Katzenmoyer, who played for Ohio State from 1996 to 1998, grew up in Westerville. He grew up not far from where I lived at the time. I was living in the Westerville South School District, and on a Friday night, I went over to watch Westerville South play, and I couldn't have come away any more impressed with Katzenmoyer. Katzenmoyer, who at the time was in the 6'4.5", 230-pound range, had a dominating performance the night I saw him play in person. He was all over the field, simply could not be blocked, and that was really the norm for Andy. He was an absolute animal, a man among boys at the high school level, playing for Westerville South High School. He went on to become the first true freshman to ever start at linebacker for the Buckeyes. My number 1 player that I have had the privilege of seeing in person in the state of Ohio was the Big O, Orlando Pace, who played for Sandusky High School. Pace, who went on to have a great career at Ohio State, was simply a very skilled athlete in a very big body. Pace averaged 18 points per game on the Sandusky Hoops team that went 22-3, but it was football the 6'7", 300-pounder really dominated that. Pace became the second true freshman to ever start for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and when I saw him play on the gridiron, he was an absolutely dominating performer. He seemed to pancake his man almost every other play, and if he didn't pancake him, he seemed to drive him off the ball. He simply was a tremendously dominating force playing offensive tackle for Sandusky High School, and he was the top player in the state of Ohio that I have ever had the chance to see play in person. And again, number 2 on my list was Andy Katzenmoyer, and number 1, the Big O, Orlando Pace, the two most dominating, the best players I have ever seen play in person here in the state of Ohio at the high school level.